top 5 NCAA tournament legends that we really never heard from again. And they just they were the guys who were, man, they were just in the moment. They might have had short NBA careers or whatever, but it was just all about the tournament for them. Number 5, Shabazz Napier from UConn. This guy was, won 2 titles with the Huskies. I think it was in 3 different Final Fours. He was in 4 NCAA tournaments. The guy was a really good college basketball player, but now he's playing overseas. But I'll never forget the name Shabazz Napier because I don't know many guys, one, named Shabazz in the first place, which makes it unique and wonderful and beautiful. But 2, he was just a really, really, really good player.
Yeah, I remember. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember too. Yeah, he was great in college.
Love the name.
Went on to have a pretty lengthy NBA career, but was never the stardom level that he had at UConn, obviously. And he was a tournament hero. And, yeah, I think he's overseas now based on what I just last saw. So, yeah, good for him. He was able to get some NBA checks and then live out the rest of his dream playing what looks like been on St. Petersburg in Russia, which that was just a year ago. So that had to be interesting. Played in Mexico, played now in, looks like Milan, Italy. So he's been around post-NBA. But, yeah, he was amazing at UConn.
Yeah. Number 4, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf from LSU.
Chris Jackson.
Yes. Made more noise because he was one of the first people who didn't want to stand up for the national anthem. That's what we remember at him in the NBA. But at LSU, hold on, I have some stats on him. I just have to scroll to it. But he was that guy in the tournament, and he was that guy that you were like, Lee, how does, Dale Brown was, he had him. He had, of course, Shaq for 1 year. But Chris Jackson, now Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, and why is he so far down on this list now? And why did I close this webpage just 20 minutes ago?
I'm just saying, maybe you shouldn't have put him on your top 5.
No, I mean, a lot of these guys, you put on the list that were, so great. You're like, well, J.J. Redick. Well, we've heard of J.J. Redick. He's also not only a longtime NBA player, he's got an excellent, excellent podcast.
It is good, by the way.
Yeah, and then some guys like Len Bias.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to find the stats on Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. He's lowered out of this.
I'll do that.
But, yeah, he was fantastic.
The Baylor-Creighton game's about the tip.
Yeah, all right. Number 3.
He's got a documentary coming out. I mean, he's still looked at as one of the greatest to ever play basketball by many NBA guys. Many talk about how if, he didn't run into all of the distractions and issues that came with his NBA career and his beliefs and all of that he might have been one of the greatest to ever do it. And yeah, there's a documentary that was I saw the trailer a couple months ago. I don't know if it's out just yet or not, but it was coming down the pipe on it, and it may be out now. And I'd imagine, I haven't seen it, but I'd imagine that's a fascinating story if they did as good of a job as the trailer made it appear. But yeah, he was amazing for LSU.
Yeah. Number 3, Big Country Reeves from Oklahoma State.
Bryant Reeves.
Yes, Big Country. He, to me, kind of like the dude from Loyola the Marymount, not Loyola.
Gathers?
No, not Loyola. One of the Chicago teams, maybe it was last year. Like just the
Loyola
big,
Chicago.
Yeah, there was just the big dude that was super Chicago. There was nobody who was more Stillwater, Oklahoma basketball player than Big Country Reeves. And I know he played in the NBA for a little bit, but he was big and strong and powerful and just knocked people around.
Yeah.
Nobody really had an answer for him.
He was an anchor inside,
Yeah, he was every time he came on, you have expected him to they have to stop the game because tobacco was on the floor. But I mean, he was that dude.
He may never have dipped.
He may never have, but he just had that look about him. And such a unique story. But this is the kind of thing that's great about the tournament is you get guys like Big Country Reeves.
Yeah, he was a good player and very much a college basketball star.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely the right nickname for him. I mean, he was Big Country, and I think the country really embraced that and really enjoyed watching him for the Pokes. But yeah, he had a good run of years with the Grizzlies and carved out a nice little pro career for himself. But yeah, he's definitely, you say Big Country to any basketball fan who's old enough, mind you, and yeah, they'll remember who you're talking about.
Eddie Sutton, his coach back when he played.
Yeah, I remember. I had to. When they were in the Final Four, I had to go to a dinner at a family's house, And my dad and I, the entire time, were trying to get done with the dinner so that we could just go to the living room and turn on the game on really low volume because we wanted to watch Big Country. Because it was kind of funny to also watch a guy like that play basketball. It was just fun. It was different than what you saw. Number 2, Juan Dixon at Maryland. This dude was everywhere during the tournament. Let's see. 2 Final Fours, 1 title in 2002. They had guys that were National Player of the Years, but he was just the dude in that title game against Indiana. Really was outstanding. Most outstanding player of the tournament. Only Maryland Terrapin to ever do that. And then, kind of bounced around. Like, he had that professional career where he was in the NBA. He was overseas, his other places. But Juan Dixon, I will always remember from that 02 year where he was so good.
Always seemed to be kind of slick, angular, just fluid. I think that might even be a better word. Just thinking about remembering him play.
Absolutely. So
Chris Jackson, by the way, his average, I'm going to have to get it in here, but I found his stats. I'll get it to you in a little bit.
Yeah. And number 1, Mateen Cleaves. Well, and clearly not the best player on that Michigan State team. And they had guys that were definite NBA players, but on his Michigan State title team, he was the straw that stirred the drink. There was some controversy around him in his life, but Mateen Cleaves was the dude everybody talked about the entire tournament. Absolutely. And then had a shorter professional career, bounced around like everybody else. But Mateen Cleaves is another one of those just tourney legends. Tyus Edney that was mentioned yesterday could have also made this list.
So, Michigan State, I believe their first national title was Magic, correct?
You never heard of him again.
Was this their next one? Or because Izzo's got only one, and he wasn't the coach for the team that was Magic. I don't know, was he the coach with Mateen Cleaves? Because he's got
Yes, he was the coach with Mateen Cleaves.
All right. Okay.
He was absolutely the coach with Mateen Cleaves.
Because as good as he is, and they won today, he has the one national title, and you would think that
they won in 79 and 2000.
Yeah.
So they won with Magic, they won with Mateen
Mateen
Cleaves.
Cleaves, okay.
Yeah. They've been to, the Final Four a ton of times, especially under Izzo. 99, 2000, 2001, 05, 09, 2010, 2015, 2019. So
yeah. By the way, Abdul-Rauf averaged 29 points a game.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
64 games, 2-year career at LSU before turning pro. All right. Anything else?